Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Frédéric Brun. I'm one of the two founders of Arturia and the CEO still, and I will be hosting this live stream today. We're broadcasting from Grenoble, which is where Arturia is located. It's in France. For those who don't know, we are in between Lyon, Geneva, Torino. Grenoble is a great place to live if you like skiing or hiking, if you like nature in general. Come and check Grenoble. We're lucky to live here. But we're also lucky because we're making musical instruments. So today is an interesting and exciting day for us as we're about to make 4 important announcements. The first one deals with one of our most successful products, one that very well symbolizes our will since the start of the company to help democratize music production. MILAB is a smart MIDI controller that is now used in the studios, on stage, in bedrooms for sure. It is used by hundreds of thousands of musicians who are looking for great software and hardware integration, as well as quality gear. But the time had come to make a step up and develop a new generation of this smart controller. So today, we're very proud to unveil Generation 3 of our glorious MILAB. MILAB 3 is a sturdy, elegant piece of gear. It comes in black and white finish. It now offers 4 sliders on top of the 8 knobs. The knobs are using new reference parts of higher quality. The pads have been redesigned to be even more precise and responsive. And we moved to USB-C while keeping MIDI out. We are the only ones in this segment of the market offering this connection. We added such features at the chord mode while keeping the ensemble simple and straightforward, we believe. Now, the most important part of MILAB is really the integration with the software. To tell you more about it, I'm going to ask Faraz Mesdour, who has been looking over this aspect of the development of the product, to tell us more about it. Hi, Faraz.
That's right. Hardware-software integration is central in our strategy, as we believe it empowers the user by creating more flexible and a more immersive experience. Let's have a quick look at MILAB 3's software integration. First of all, our own software, Analog Lab. The objective behind this integration was to make you feel you're actually playing a real instrument, not only a combination of a controller and a piece of software. The parameters associated to the knobs and the fader have been smartly selected to provide you the more control over the plugin. Moreover, we added some more visual feedbacks and a better browsing to fluidify and make your experience more smooth. We also added some features like Arpeggio and chord mode to help you be even more creative. By pressing this way, I activate the arpeggiator and the MILAB 3 notifies that the ARP is on, and also you get this little icon on the screen. The same way, you can press Shift plus Hold, and then you have the chord mode. Then, by pressing one key, I can have this beautiful arpeggio. That's it. This was the integration, a quick overview of the integration of the MILAB 3 with our software Analog Lab. Now, let's have a look at the integration with the DAWs. So even though our controller have been well integrated with the DAW, with the Mackie Control Universal Protocol, we decided to develop a more advanced integration for 5 of them. Let's get into Ableton Live to understand that. If I press Shift plus the pad 3, I enter the DAW mode. And if you have already plugged your MILAB 3 before, the DAW will automatically recognize the MILAB 3 and you're just ready to make some music. The main encoder here is the most important one. It allows you to navigate into your different live sets. So if you turn the main encoder this way, you can browse into your different scenes. And as you can see, the pad will take the color of the corresponding clip of the scene. By pressing Shift plus turning the main encoder, you will be able to browse into your different tracks. So let's select here a drum kit that I have already loaded and arming it by pressing Shift plus clicking on the main encoder. This way. Let's disable the arpeggiator, sorry. And here we have some drum sound. Now, the parameter of the knobs control the parameter of the plugin. And the fader controls also the mixer. Perfect. When you press Shift, you might see that some colors appear here on the pad. These are short access for transfer control in your DAW. So you have loop, stop, play, record, and also tap tempo. So that was the quick overview of the feature of the Mini-Lab 3 in the DAWs. Now let's try to record something. I want to record the drum loop over an existing melody that I have already recorded before. So let's enable the loop mode. Now, I want my drum sound on my pads. So I will associate it by clicking on Shift plus the second pad to switch from another bank and to have access to my drum kit on my pads. So now I'm just ready to record. Let's press Shift plus record. Here you will hear the loop that I have already recorded. And here we go. And that's it. This advanced integration is really ideal to shape and craft your ideas and can be associated to a kind of creative way to work. As I said at the beginning, we developed this similar integration for 5 DAWs on the market, which are Ableton Live, FL Studio, Logic Pro, Bitwig Studio, and finally Reason. We also plan to add Cubase in the month ahead. So I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. Thanks for watching, and see you later.
I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. As you can tell, we have made sure you get the most out of your controller by offering best-in-class software and hardware integration with DAWs, but also with software instruments. As a matter of fact, as of today, we can say that Mini-Lab 3 is offering the best software and hardware integration in the market for a controller. It is also coming with an outstanding software suite, a bundle, that is made of Analog Lab Lite, Ableton Live Lite, Native Instruments The Gentleman, that's the full version, but also UVI Model D, the full version as well. 40 lessons to learn how to play the keyboard or make music from our friends at Melodix, and also a free 2-month artist plan with Loop Cloud. This is a production-ready bundle that will give anyone a chance to create their first track. Now, there is something else we would like to tell you about Mini-Lab 3. As you may know, Arturia is engaged in a very ambitious plan to reduce its carbon emissions. We plan to limit our carbon impact by 6% per year on equivalent turnover. In order to do that, we have set a certain number of directions. A very important one is to build eco-design products using less material, being recyclable. This is partly the case for Mini-Lab 3, as minimum 50% of all plastic parts are recycled. The packaging itself is entirely recyclable. We got rid of the foams and all parts of these sorts. And let me also add that Mini-Lab 3 comes with a 5-year warranty. Making sure you can use your gear for a longer period of time is also a way to limit carbon emissions, environmental impact, and it's also our commitment to long-term quality. Mini-Lab 3 is the smart controller for producers, musicians on the go, composers. Now, the second product we want to introduce today is actually a piece of software Mini-Lab 3 could very well control. When we introduced the Augmented series back in May, we wanted to offer acoustic instruments in software format of high quality and allow you to take them one step further. Augmented voice and augmented strings have been very well received. Thank you. So today, we're very happy and very proud to unveil the third instrument in the Augmented series, Augmented Grand Piano.
The Augmented series takes traditional instruments like pianos and violins and revitalizes them by shifting them into the modern era in terms of music making and sound design and usability, as well as workflow. And their aim is to augment these instruments by expanding their creative potential for today's producers, composers, and musicians. Augmented Grand Piano is our latest addition to this series, and it achieves a beautiful pairing between premium samples and powerful synth engines, which gives you this unique hybrid sound. And let's play another one. So here you can really hear the piano samples and the synth engine. So for grand piano's sample library, we actually tracked down a Steinway Model D from the late 80s, which many consider to be the best grand piano in the world. And we really wanted to capture its character and all the intricate details by carefully recording its tone. And I'll show you some examples of the classic piano samples that were recorded. So One Bright One. And One Felt. But we didn't only record classic samples, we also used prepared piano techniques using things like ping pong balls, e-bows, drumsticks, even bowed strings, and many other methods for interesting textures that you can hear. So I'll show you a few of these. Here's an example of the ping pong balls in the piano. And here are some mallets. And here we have some bowed strings. And in Augmented Grand Piano, you get to morph between these classic samples and the flexible synth engines that use intuitive modulation with all of the macros that you can see here with hands-on control for the modern-day composer. So I'll show you some of these morphing capabilities in these presets. So this is a chord preset. It's perfect for pop and urban arrangements. And here we have a reverse piano, very sleek preset. I switched quickly there with the morph. And let's try one more. This one is this gives an example of the cinematic sounds, really wide atmospheres that you can create with Augmented Grand Piano. And there you have it. So I invite you to explore all 300 of these sounds, as there are piano sounds in here that you've never heard before. Thank you.
Yes, you'll find dozens of piano software solutions. Still, Augmented Grand Piano manages to bring a fresh, musical, empowering approach to it. Thank you very much, Lady. All right, now I'd like to move to our third announcement. Arturia offers instruments, equipment for all manner of moments and situations. We organize them in 5 ranges. The Lab range is made of integrated software instruments and MIDI controllers. We just saw some of them with Augmented Grand Piano and MiLab. They allow for the exploration of an unlimited soundscape through efficient control. The Brute range is made of raw analog synthesizers. We're talking Polybrute, Mini Brute, Matrix Brute, Drum Brute Impact. Hands-on workflow, 100% analog, Brute Factors. These instruments are all about the power of voltage. The Freak range explores unconventional sound. Freak synths rely at core on the mix of digital oscillators and analog filters. They invite you to escape the ordinary, to embrace futuristic worlds. The Step range is made of smart controllers that are also sequencers. KeyStep, KidStep Pro, BeatStep Pro, they invite you to design musical structures. They make it easier to explore musical architecture. The Fuse range is all about the exploration of signal identity. It allows to capture sonic creativity. As you can tell, the Fuse range is made of audio interfaces as well as software audio effects. And tonight, this is our third announcement. We're glad to announce that Mini Fuse 4 is shipping. To present this new interface, I'm handing it over to Martin Dutasta, Head of Product Management, who is very much beyond this line. Hi, Martin.
Hi, Frederic. Thank you. Yeah, Mini Fuse are compact, easy-to-use USB audio interface. The range includes Mini Fuse 1, Mini Fuse 2, and Mini Fuse 4, which are shipping today. Mini Fuses share great audio performances, unique features, and simple interface alongside a powerful software bundle and its software companion, Mini Fuse Control Center. Let's first have a look at Mini Fuse 4 features. Mini Fuse 4 is a 4-input, 4-output USB audio interface. It includes 2 combo mic line and instrument inputs. These inputs are perfect to record any instrument or microphone. 2 pair of headphone outputs. 2 additional line inputs to record an additional pair of instruments such as a synth or a drum machine. 4 line output, including a pair of monitoring output with volume control. MIDI I/O to control MIDI-capable devices such as a drum machine or synth. A dual-port USB hub allows the connection of any USB devices such as a thumb drive or a MIDI controller. This hub and the dual headphone output are unique features in this price range. The Mini Fuse Control Center is Mini Fuse 4 companion software. It gives access to the internal monitoring function and the loopback settings. Mini Fuse 4 offers some of the best audio performances in the market. Let's have a quick look at some of the key figures. So the equivalent input noise, which defines the noise induced by the mic preamp, is kept as a minimal value of -129 dB. The dynamic range, which is the range between the noise floor and the maximum level attainable by the preamp before distortion, is measured at 112 dB. On the monitoring output, the dynamic range available is also about 110 dB, allowing the restitution of the most dynamic music material. Measured overall audio quality means the Mini Fuse 4 is able to capture and deliver the most pristine sound, whatever your music style. And because the audio interface is only part of your production environment, the Mini Fuse 4 comes with a unique software bundle containing exclusive Arturia software such as Analog Lab Intro and some of our most successful FX plugins. We also partnered with some of our best software companies to include all the needed tools to produce music and more, notably Native Instrument Guitar Rig 6 LE and Ableton Live Lite. Finally, to accompany some of you guys beginning in music production, we created a lot of educational content to help you along your musical journey with Mini Fuse 4. I invite you to check out the Ableton Live session on our website. These are created by our sound designer and producer from all around the world using exclusively the Mini Fuse and its software bundle. So this is Arturia Mini Fuse 4. It's a 4-in, 4-out, compact, easy-to-use USB audio interface. It's available today with a 5-year warranty. And if you are a guitarist, producer, content creator, or a singer-songwriter, Minifuse 4 is a perfect device to bridge the gap between your ideas and a finished audio creation.
Thanks, Martin, for this presentation, and congrats again for Minifuse 4.
Thank you.
We've actually been very successful with Minifuse 1 and 2, and since we announced them a year ago, we've seen tremendous success. We hope it's going to be the same for Minifuse 4, and with excellent audio quality, smart feature set, great unbundling and bundle, we believe it should be the case. A new Mini Lab, the new Augmented grand piano, Minifuse 4 shipping. We have already made 3 of the announcements planned for today. Now comes the moment to unveil the 4th product. And as an introduction, I'd like to get back to the time we released Microfreak. As we have done in different occasions since the inception of the company, we decided to do their being different, and therefore invite our users to be different as well. Microfreak and the Microfreak keybed, for example, is a statement of singularity. At Arturia, we also strive to offer sound excellence, which the Microfreak does by pairing digital oscillators with excellent analog filter. Today, we are announcing the grandbrother of Microfreak. We are extremely proud to present Minifreak today, and to tell you more about it, I'm handing it over to Sébastien Rochard, the product manager beyond it.
Thank you, Frederic. Yes, indeed, we are very proud of this instrument. I'm so happy to show it to you today. So what is Minifreak? Minifreak is a 6-voice polyphonic hybrid synthesizer. Each of the 6 voices contains a dual oscillator, digital oscillator, as well as an analog filter. On top of that, you're going to find creative modulations, rich stereo effects, and a very powerful sequencer and arpeggiator. This thing can sound sometimes very subtle and soft, and sometimes very harsh, or even erratic in some ways. I want to show you some patches. I want to dive in a little bit. First, well, like I said, Minifreak has 6 voices of polyphony, which means obviously it means that you can play 6 voices at a time, but it also means that there are 6 analog filters. Just as a reminder, Microfreak, the little brother, only had 1 analog filter. But we kept the same filter as Microfreak because we really liked that filter. The filter is very soft, it's very creamy. It's not a filter that has a lot of character, but it's a good thing because what we want to shine is the digital side of it, it's the oscillators that we want to hear. So we tried other filters like the Steiner-Packer or the ladder. The Steiner-Packer had too much character, the ladder cut too much frequencies. So this one is perfect for this instrument. Going back to the oscillator, like I said, there are 2 of them. So one thing we can do, let's just listen a bit. So this is a simple waveform, and I can browse through the different types of synthesis. And for each mode, I can then alter the sounds with the wave, timbre, and shape knob. Right. So let's go back to a first patch, and we can add a second oscillator. So this second oscillator does an octave here, and I can also alter the sound. Of course, I can detune it. Right. Another strong feature of let's listen to the filter a bit actually. With resonance, clean. Band pass, and high pass. Right. Another thing with MiniFreak is that it has effects. It has 3 effect slots, and it's a very powerful effect module. I would say that the effects are really like they're part of the sound. You know, it's not something that's put on top. It's really part of the sound design. This patch, let's listen again to this patch with the effects the way it was planned initially. So yeah, just widens everything, adds a lot of depth to the sound. Let's listen to another one. This patch, this bass patch, which I removed the effect in the first place, and then I'm going to add the effect so you can hear a bit how it sounds. So it's 1 tone plus a noise source, and then I'm going to add a little bit of chorus, which should get this kind of stereo widening, and then we're going to add distortion. And another distortion. Right. Another thing I want to talk about is the modulations. MiniFreak has a lot of modulations. It has 2 envelopes, one of which can loop. It has 2 LFOs on which you can design your own waveforms. And then you have velocity, aftertouch, the mod wheel. You have keyboard follow, and you have 2 macros. And it's plenty of modulation sources, and it makes it easy to have a wide variety of patches. Like let's listen to this, for instance. This is a pad that uses some movement in pad. Aftertouch. And the macros, which as you can see really change the patch. Right. Let me give you some other example of things you can do with the modulations. Maybe this is kind of like a techno arpeggio or something using LFOs. Again, macros. Or things like this, you know, this is a patch that uses the modulation. I was telling you about all the types of synthesis. You can modulate that, which is a bit insane, but it gives some nice results sometimes. This is a patch where, you know, it's kind of like a glitchy patch with using this technique. This is typical MiniFreak territory, you know, this kind of digital, glitchy, a bit unusual sounds. This is another great example also. that uses a resonant filter to produce like a tone, and then adding a little bit of glitchiness on top of it. Let's listen. Can add distortion to it. And I can change the kind of glitchy sounds on top. The reverb also kind of blurs the sound. Right. This is another example, and it uses this feature, the stepped LFOs. I was telling you that users can customize their own LFO waveforms. Let's listen to the patch as it was designed. And it uses this feature. So I press Shift and LFO edit, and now we can see on the screen the waveform that is used. And let's listen to this. I'm going to hold a note. And using the steps here, as well as the touch strips and these buttons, I can customize my own waveform. For instance, I can make a longer segment. I can change the amplitude of some segment. I can make falling curves or rising curve, or triangles. Let me erase everything. You can also use it to do like kind of step sequences. For instance, something like that. Just drawing your own LFOs. Right. It's a very nice feature. It's very efficient to create like weird automated patches. Now, another thing you can expect from an Arturia instrument is to have like an advanced sequencer and arpeggiator. And Minifreak has a very strong sequencer. Instead of going into details, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you a bit how quickly you can build a sequence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the metronome, press record, press play, and then we're going to enter a sequence. I can overwrite on top of that sequence to change that for a chord. I can also activate overdub and write this a bass line. I can double my sequence, which is just going to copy the signal from one to the other, and I can record modulations. So I can record modulations like this. No. So you can record up to four parameters can be automated like this. Right. I mean, this is, it's a quick example, but it shows you how fast you can get like nice ideas with the sequencer. The arpeggiator is the same thing. Let me reload that patch. Let's activate the arpeggiator. Let's start with the up mode, for instance, and turn off the metronome. We hold that. Right. We have a sequence. We can change the mode. Random. Polyphonic. We can change the octave. Right. Now, one thing. First, you can change the gate length using the slider here. Short notes, long notes. And now you have Spice and Dice. This is a feature that we created for Microfreak that we also included here. So the second slider here is used for Spice. And it's gonna change the length of the notes, it's gonna change the velocity, it just makes the whole sequence more dynamic. But it's random, and then I can re-randomize the sequence using the dice function, shift plus this button. And I get something new. And every time I do it, I'm going to get a new sequence. And I can go back to my default sequence. I have more randomness. And some new feature on Mini-Freak is these 4 buttons here that just transform your arpeggio, like repeat, just repeats each note twice, ratchet, random octave, which is going to sometimes change the notes. And finally mutate, which takes each note and kind of move them around, just changes the pitch of the notes. Right. I mean, I hope it gives you an idea of like how quickly the arpeggiator and the sequencer can generate just ideas. I love it. Yeah, there's a lot more we can talk about here. We just wanted to give you a brief overview of the instrument. I'm amazed by the diversity of sound that we can get. You know, this machine can really produce a lot of sound. And it's an opportunity to congratulate the sound designers, which really made it shine. The factory library has 256 presets, and all of them are unique in some way. You know, they're very playable, but you know, it doesn't feel like something you've heard before. You know, the macros take them into weird territories. Everything is a little bit unusual in a good way. Yeah, that's it.
Wow, that's excellent, Seb. Thank you very much. We can feel the passion in the way you approach the product, in the way you designed it. So very clear, Mini-Freak is this outstanding synthesizer you just heard. And so it's also another occasion to emphasize a very important aspect in our strategy, which is the integration between software and hardware. Because you did not mention it, but Mini-Freak is coming with its very own software counterpart, right?
That's right. Mini-Freak V will be shipping with Mini-Freak V is a standalone or a VST or audio unit application, and it's going to enhance your Mini-Freak experience a lot. First, you can use it as just a simple preset browser. You can browse your patches, you can back up your Mini-Freak library, you can reorganize the library, and so on. You know, just simple preset management. You can also display your Mini-Freak patch, visualize it. You know, it's a very efficient way to see how a patch was built. You know, you see the position of the knobs, and any knob that you turn on the hardware will reflect on the software, and vice versa.
Which is great, but so far there's nothing groundbreaking. I think we can go beyond that. We're making sound with Mini-Freak V, right?
That's right. Mini-Freak V produces sound, and that's really when the fun begins. The same digital engine of Mini-Freak is integrated in Mini-Freak V. And of course, because the filter is analog, we emulated the filter, which we've been doing for 20 years. So it's very accurate.
So maybe we have to explain what's the point if you own Mini-Freak to have Mini-Freak V as well.
I guess I'm going to give a few setup examples of how to use it. Like, first, you could you could create a patch in the train with your computer, no Mini-Freak, just in the computer. But then you connect the two together, get the patch, and then go on stage with your Mini-Freak and perform with the patch. Or maybe the opposite, you know, you design, if you want to be in a nice mindset, you move away from the computer, just design a patch with the hardware, and fire from the computer, and then you get into your DAW, connect your machine, and then retrieve that patch in your DAW so that you can continue to write a song around it. Another thing is that when the hardware and the software are connected with a USB cable, Mini-Freak becomes a perfectly integrated MIDI controller. Everything is mapped, everything is in the right place, the knobs have the right names. It's just the perfect MIDI controller for Mini-Freak V. And one last thing, in a DAW, you're going to be able to have multiple instances of Mini-Freak V. And you know, you can, with one click, like the sync button, you can choose which instance is controlled by Mini-Freak. So again, you know, you have your bass, your lead, your keys, all of them as separate tracks in your DAW, and then this is your perfect MIDI controller for whatever you want to control. Yeah,
that's excellent. Yeah, so you've got, and that's our quest, to offer the best of software and hardware. So you have really these hands-on controls, these sort of organic feels that come with hardware, and at the same time you have the convenience, the power of software in these products. And Mini-Freak V will be only available to Mini-Freak users for the time being. And that's going to be, for them, a great way to complement their hardware synths. So excellent. Thank you very much for this presentation, Seb. Exciting, very exciting to see this product. We're a bit late on schedule. We got caught in the presentations and the excitement of everything you saw today. But yes, we've had MiniLab 3, the next generation smart MIDI controller. We have had Augmented grand piano, a great sounding and creative piano software. We have had MiniFuse 4 shipping now, the third product in the MiniFuse series. And eventually, finally, we just heard about MiniFreaks, this groundbreaking digital analog synthesizer. Thank you very much for attending this keynote. We are Arturia. We are modern time instrument makers. We seek inspiration from yesterday to invent instruments today and allow you to make the music of tomorrow. Thank you very much.